Let's be very clear. Shambolic scenes from RB, okay? The way they let Danny Ricciardo go out the way he has done, and we are hearing about Liam Lawson going to be taking over the team from Austin going onwards. But I tell you what, show some respect to Daniel Ricciardo. I mean, listen, I understand Daniel Ricciardo has not been the Danny Ricciardo that we've become used to, that we became accustomed to in his Red Bull days and even moments in the Renault days as well, okay? The guy still won a Grand Prix in McLaren when this was probably at the beginning of the end for him. But the way we've had to find out about this news, the way we've had to find out that Daniel Ricciardo is no longer in Formula One after the Singapore Grand Prix, and the fact that he kind of knew he was going to be leaving, why couldn't they tell us? Why could they not give Danny Ricciardo the respect? Why couldn't they give him the respect to at least, sort of leave with his head held high, doff his cap to the fans, and let the fans embrace him for what he's done in Formula One? 8 Grand Prix wins. Okay, Daniel Ricciardo is a top driver in Formula One, multiple race winner. Okay, he won in a McLaren as well, by the way. A McLaren at the time, let's have it right, isn't the McLaren that you guys have become accustomed to today. And he's become, he won races, of course, with Red Bull. Remember, the guy laid the smackdown on Sebastian Vettel. Vettel, 4-time world champion. Vettel, a man who we respect and people love and adored whilst he was here. Well, maybe they didn't adore when he was winning them titles, but you know what I'm saying? They loved him after the fact. But Daniel Ricciardo going out the way he's gone out is a disgrace. It's a disgrace. At the end of the day, this is a man who at least deserved the right to at least allow the people to know ahead of time that this would be his final race in Singapore, that we can at least all kind of take in one last moment. Now, his race wasn't even that incredible, but the guy still nicked the fastest lap at the end. You know what I mean? That would have been a little small victory we could have all kind of celebrated, because let's have it right. We didn't really celebrate it at the time. If anything, the talk around Danny Ricciardo getting the fastest lap is, well, should RB or Red Bull, should they be having two teams where moments like this we can take a fastest lap of a title challenging McLaren, and then instead we would be, now we're talking about, this is what we're talking about, right? And instead we should be talking about, do you know what? On his last race in Formula One, the man went into the pits, put on some soft tires, right, or put on some quicker tires, and smashed the fastest lap. Took it off Lando Norris, leading the race, by the way, and won the race in Singapore at a canter. Yeah, but instead this is where we are at. Now, don't get me wrong, he's not had a good season, finishing or, behind anyway, Yuki Tsunoda at this moment in time. And I guess the plan was always to try and probably get him back to Red Bull if Checo Perez didn't do his job. And let's have it right, Checo Perez hasn't been doing his job. And I'm a big fan of Sergio Perez, okay, in that Red Bull. But he ain't been doing his job. But here we are. Here we are with Daniel Ricciardo. Not saying that he should stay in Formula One. That's not what I'm debating here. The way in which they let Daniel Ricciardo leave Formula One is an utter shambolic disgrace. Because number one, it's in the middle of the season. But number two, everybody, only he knew, it seemed, that for definite he's leaving. The guy, the post-race interview he did with F1 TV, honestly, it's like, hello, am I missing something here? Because nothing official came out. Nothing was said about, this is going to be Danny Ricciardo's last race. Here's what's happened. We're going to bring in Liam Lawson. And Liam Lawson, credit to him. He should deserve, he's won that seat on merit. Let's be right. Do you know what I mean? In Formula One, because when he was last in Formula One, he was doing very well. He did tremendously well, in fact, and was hard done by to not be in Formula One this season. But the manner and the level of utter disrespect that has been shown to Danny Ricciardo is beyond me. It's beyond me. I have no idea. I'm lost for words as to why Formula One have done it this way. We saw an emotional, teary-eyed Danny Ricciardo. Even as he was talking, you could barely even get the words out. And after the interviews, everybody, to a man and to a woman, could not even speak after that, because it was very much like, it was hard to watch. And the reason it was hard to watch is because we saw a man know his career was done in Formula One without actually it coming out or being official. And now that the Formula One's having a break for 4 weeks, we're not even on the first weekend yet of Formula One, or of no Formula One rather, in this 4-week period. And this is what we're getting. This is what you're giving us. I find it incredible. I find it shocking. I cannot make sense of this. How on earth can they be doing this to Danny Ricciardo? How have we got to this stage? How have we got here? That a man who's done such service in Formula One, what are we talking, 10 years? 10 years at least in Formula One, and this is the service he gets. This is the way he gets to bow out. I'm sorry. I think it's an utter disgrace the way they've done it. RB, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Red Bull, the whole factory, you should be ashamed of yourselves for sure, because it's an utter disgrace. Unbelievable. Unbelievable what we've seen here. And I feel sorry for Liam Lawson because he's coming into a situation where he's not going to be very popular. Now, it's not his own doing, but just because of the circumstances. And RB are not going to be lights between now and the end of the season. I can tell you that much. And rightly so. We should be seeing Daniel Ricciardo leaving with his head held high, flying the Aussie flag, the honey badger himself. Let him be celebrated. It was poor. It was poor. And I almost feel like the FIA or whoever it needs to be needs to get involved and have a conversation, have a word, and say, what the hell are you guys doing? Let the man race in Austin at least and let that be the final race. Something. Something at least, because this is ridiculous. This is utterly ridiculous. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. You let me know. What do you think? Am I being over the top here? Am I bang on? Talk to me. What has taken place is just beyond me. They did not have to do this man this way. He deserved the respect to at least be in Formula One and at least be, leave with his head held high, at least allow people to embrace him one last time. Because if you was in Singapore and you saw Daniel Ricciardo and you happened to get a picture with him or anything like that, you might have even done it on the off chance. Or you know what, maybe this is his last time. Who knows? But this is shambolic scenes. Red Bull, RB, you guys should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves because I think this was totally out of order. Daniel Ricciardo deserves more respect than the way he has bowed out in Formula One. And I hope this isn't the last time we've seen of Daniel Ricciardo, because even if it means getting in that Sauber, in that Audi, Daniel Ricciardo, for the love of God, do it. Because we need to at least give you that moment when you do bow out. At least we can we want some donuts at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? Like, this way is just, it's like they've treated this man like he's nothing in this team. Or like he's been nothing to this Red Bull team. You know what I mean? Like, it's just wrong and it's out of order. And I want to know what you lot think in the comment section below. Am I being over the top? Am I overreacting? I sure as hell don't think I am. We're finding out, in the midweek when there's no Formula One, that the guy has left with immediate effect. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? RB, you should be ashamed of yourselves. At least tell us beforehand. At least tell us what time it is. And maybe Daniel Ricciardo kind of showed the press and showed the media a little bit of what was going on inside, because I don't think they even thought about declaring it outside beforehand and saying, this is what it's going to be. But Daniel Ricciardo, I've had my ups and downs with him as a McLaren man myself. But I tell you what, this is not the way he goes out. We have to give him some respect. Shambolic stuff from RB. Disgraceful behavior. Until next time, people, lights out.